Champions Cup final, folks. Leinster just got whooped by Bordeaux. Got up 1:45 in the morning to watch this game. It's now almost 4. I'll try to get this one done quick because it was done quick in the first half. I don't want to wake up my kids because they are still asleep just in the other room over there. But 41-19. Mostly in the first half. Goodness gracious me. Bordeaux, all their tries in the first half. Quite an unbelievable performance. Leinster, it's another final. Heartbreak for Leinster fans again. But they weren't close. It's a kind of different kind of heartbreak. It's different when you lose it at the death. This was done at half-time, especially with Moefana against the intercept, as Leinster are already kind of chasing the game. We will go through some of the key events and the stats. Then I'm going to get back into bed because, yeah, she was an awkward kickoff time, this one. Incredible stadium, though, over in Bilbao. Cracking atmosphere, huge crowd. It looked bloody hot. But it looked a real picture. As I said, rolling out of bed, that wakened me up very quickly because it was quite a spectacle. But what was not a spectacle is Leinster making mistakes pretty much from the start of the game. Keenan, I said he was safe as houses in the preview. He dropped the first kick he faced, which put Leinster under all kinds of pressure. They did hold through that initial kind of, you don't want to be in a final giving an opportunity to a team straight away kind of pressure, but they held. And to their credit, Leinster went down the other end, went 19 phases in reply. Gibson Park, Ringrose, and Tommy O'Brien combined for a nice Leinster early score. Cut-out pass from Ringrose was a thing of beauty. Cut-out Rico out to Tommy O'Brien. Sideline conversion from Harry Byrne, also pretty slick. It's a pretty good start from Leinster, and to be fair, it went back to a nice bit of maul defence. I think it was Clarkson. Turned over the Bordeaux guys at maul. It was a great reply from Leinster because you've just had to mistake. You've held defensively. Then you've got a great turnover of your own and then scored first opportunity. Cracking stuff. Just what you want in the final. But the reply from Bordeaux is pretty much perfect. They did have one denied through Woki. They had a couple of try-saving tackles, to be fair. Did Leinster. They had Josh van der Fleer on the left, and then as Bordeaux shifted right, Harry Byrne put on a tackle for Cameron Woki, who was centimetres away from a hell of a finish in the corner, the big flanker. But his other hand, which is not carrying the ball, I think just touches the ground out before he gets the ball down. It is as close as it gets. Try denied, but it doesn't matter. They go back for advantage. 5-metre line out, advantage again. 5-metre tap in front. They don't go for 3 points to Bordeaux. They want tries, and the captain, Maxime Luku, he gets it for Bordeaux. So 7 points apiece with his snipe. And then Leinster kicked the damn restart dead. I'm thinking, you can't be given these errors, man, in a final. But they're giving them. It looked like they'd been given a bit of a reprieve because it looked like BLBRA had kicked it dead in return. But he insists that a Leinster player has got a hand to it. I think it was Keenan. And he's right. The TMO goes and has a look at it. Sure enough, there's a hand on it. So it becomes, instead of a let-off, it becomes all the pressure on for Leinster once again. And Bordeaux, it is so beautiful to watch. They make no mistake. 5-metre scrum. They get advantage. That man we highlighted in the preview, Matthew Jalibert, to Rayasi with the great ball out to Uberti on the right wing. It is another try for Bordeaux. It is converted 14 points to 7. And then Louis Bielbarré gets his first of 2. He extends Bordeaux's lead. It's starting to get very troubling if you're Leinster, but it is just, again, it's just so easy on the eye. Bordeaux is such a nice team to watch. Louis Bielbarré, he gets the step going, steps Gibson Park like he's almost not there. From an Uberti kind of bounce pass. Bounce passes can give you that little bit of hesitation. Even if he got it on the full, I think he's still getting the step game going. And to be fair, that one goes back to Bielbarré himself because he beat Tommy O'Brien in the air to a high ball contest. So he kind of sets it up and he finishes it off. To be fair, in the middle of that, Leinster looked like they'd shut it down because Van der Fleer had a nice turnover, but he kind of knocked it on in the process of turning it over. So that that kind of 50-50, that flip of the coin where you get the turnover to shut it down, and then it kind of flips back the other way. That they needed that, did Leinster. They didn't get it, and Bordeaux punished once again. So it's starting to look pretty messy at 21 points to 7. Leinster did have a bunch of phases down Bordeaux's end for the first time in quite some time at around about half an hour, but it's not looking like going anywhere, is it? It's comfortably defended by Bordeaux and ends in a Conan knock-on, and then 2 more from Bordeaux before half-time. The 36th minute one, or 35th minute one to BLBRA, it's kind of just crazy. It's heads-up play, isn't it? It's Peno with just a hack through from loose ball. He regathers it, gets it to BLBRA, who's again got the footwork to step another Leinster defender. It's 28-7. The commentary team said maybe Peno pushed Gibson Park in the gathering of the kick. I don't know that it's enough to stop the play. So it's 28 points to 7. And then as Leinster are trying to run it out of their own half, because they had a free kick right before halftime, they could have just kicked it out and go into the sheds, 28-7 down. I guess they figure they got to chase the game. They're chasing the game from their own half. To be fair, they did get into Bordeaux's half, but an intercept pass from Harry Byrne, Moefana canters over, 35 points to 7, and it's effectively game over at halftime. Possession is 50-50, territories with Bordeaux 54-46, but the run meters is like 304 to 193 to Bordeaux. Defenders beaten 15-4 to Bordeaux. The lineup for Bordeaux is 100%. There's been a couple of shaky ones from Leinster. Woki is absolutely disruptive. And the turnovers conceded count is 12-6 against Leinster. It's looking like a long way back in the second half. But they do get the door just slightly put ajar from them when Maxime Luku, ironically the man with maybe the least hair in the game, maybe him or Gibson Park or Poirot. There's a few baldies out there, but Luku, he gets yellow carded for a hair pull on Joe McCarthy. I actually thought, it's a bit harsh. I don't think he was going for the hair. Like you've seen pretty rarely, but occasionally you see full-on hair pulls. I don't think Luku was going for that. But because McCarthy's got the old mullet at the back, he gets enough of his hair to counter the hair pull. So he gets himself yellow carded, which does give Leinster an opportunity. But Leinster only score 5 points during the yellow card period. They did get it through McCarthy. He kind of dived over after a close-range period of pressure. To be fair, it started with a nice line break from Rico. He chalked through a few run meters. Misconversion from Frawley, who came on. And to be fair, I thought was pulling the backline strings better than Byrne was. But yeah, 35-12. That's the only scoring in the yellow card period. They did have chances. Josh Van der Fleer knocked it on after a period of pressure. Good defensive play from BLBRA to get in there. Rousey put in a nice intercept as they were looking to disrupt. And Woki, sadly for Bordeaux, had to go off injured. But yeah, nothing doing for Leinster. And then Bordeaux, just to kind of calm things down, keep the scoreboard ticking over, just push the game out. They kick a couple of penalties through the boot of Luku, one after a high tackle on Jalibert and one after a breakdown infringement. So it's 41-12. Again, you're not coming back from there. Leinster did chuck the kitchen sink at it. I mean, Frawley had a cross kick to Rico, which was ever so close. They did get a kind of consolation one through Ringrose on 71 minutes. But yeah, I mean, there's another yellow card to Bordeaux. Boniface with a really cheap shot on James Ryan. It's just brain-explodingly stupid to do. Ryan's on the ground. He just puts a tucked arm into him. There's just no need for it. But again, it doesn't cost his team. It doesn't cost his team anything. So Bordeaux, I mean, I was kind of rooting for Leinster. I said it in the preview. I was kind of rooting for Leinster because I would love to see Rico get a Champions Cup in his one season up north. But he doesn't get it. They had, at least on the English commentary, they had Ben Tamiafuna doing the post-match interview, and he won a couple of key turnovers defensively in the second half from the bench as well for Bordeaux. And he's from my hometown here in Auckland, so I can't begrudge Bordeaux a win here. They were absolutely the better team. They just, first half, were absolutely a team possessed. Possession finished at 57-43 and territory 53-47, both to Leinster because they had so much more in the second half. But the turnovers conceded are still 22-14, lacking the clinical edge. They finished with more line breaks at 7-6. So They were able to generate more in the second, but again, the 22 entries converted are virtually, they are awful reading for Leinster, because they had a number which were not converted, whereas Bordeaux were a lot more clinical. Defenders beaten 23-17 to Bordeaux. Doris had a bunch of carries as expected, 17 of them, but Bordeaux were kind of able to limit his go forward, only 39 metres from 17 carries is not as high as he would have liked. Big Ben Tamifun, a couple of turnovers, like I mentioned. Jolly Bear, 4 defenders beaten. Rico had 74 metres and 4 defenders beaten, so that's top for Leinster, but didn't really look like scoring a try. The cross kick from Frawley was maybe the closest. Boschatol, 17 tackles. For Van der Fleer had 16. But, yeah, Champions Cup is done for another year. French dominance continues, and Leinster's hunt for the next star is going to have to keep waiting. You guys will have to let me know what you think about the coaching situation at Leinster. Do you think they need to make changes, or is French rugby just in such a good position right now that there's so many clubs, be it Bordeaux at the moment, be it Toulouse, that these clubs are just at another level? Hope you enjoyed it, folks. I'm going back to bed. If you want to buy me a coffee, there's a link down in the description. I could use one in the morning when I get back up, but it's been good to cover the Champions Cup for another year. Thank you for being here, folks. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.